Hey everyone, this week's show features us talking about the Microsoft Activision FTC trial. We recorded this before the trial came to fruition, so I'm going to leave that part in because I think we have a pretty good discussion about it and some of the repercussions that happen. But just know that particular news item is going to be slightly outdated when you check out this week's show. So, yeah, enjoy the show.
On aboard the choo-choo train.
Checkalook.
Welcome everybody to Crazy Train of Thought, brought to you by the Idiot Savants. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am your host, Ryan Wolf. We are live from Savant Studios. Joining me today, I have
Austyn Torres.
Austyn Torres is here, the pirouetted piercer himself. Thank you for being here, Austyn. Also today, we have Malachem. Jesus Christ, man. You're going to blow that microphone out.
Is it too high?
A little bit, yeah.
How's that sound?
That sounds better than it did before.
Any eardrums bleeding out there?
Sorry, listeners, if that... I'll turn that down. We'll fix it in post, as it were.
No.
I can fix it in post.
Yeah, right. Everything.
So, we are reconvening. Last week, I told you that Troy was going to be on, but Troy is a shithead, and Troy is not here. So you will not be getting your Tears of the Kingdom rundown like I promised last week. I also, spoilers, didn't find enough time to play every single JRPG on Game Pass.
Boo.
I'm so sorry. Austin and I played Dead Island 2.
Yep.
So we'll be bringing you that stuff. And I wanted to dedicate a little bit of the end of the episode to talk about this Microsoft FTC trial thing, because it's not something, it's been something that's going on for a while, but not while we were recording episodes. So we want to give a little bit of a rundown on what's happened there, what might happen, our thoughts about it. And yeah, we'll kind of go from there. Austin, do you want to start with Dead Island 2 since both of us played that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think Dead Island 2 is a little bit better than Dead Island 1.
Okay. Well, we can start with that then. Like, as far as being a Dead Island fan,
Okay.
Are you a fan of the original game?
I mean,
it's I think Riptide was the
Riptide was the second
standalone expansion, or
that was how long ago was that app came out? The first one. It was a long time. I remember playing it like high school with my buddies.
I remember seeing the trailer for that. Do you remember the original trailer for Dead Island 1? Were you like super into like gaming culture at that time?
I don't think so. I mean, I remember the intro of Dead Island 1.
It might be the same thing.
Whoa, that's crazy, yeah.
The original reveal trailer for Dead Island, Malcolm's got it pulled up here from IGN. The original trailer, you know, it would have been like E3 time when all the trailers come out in 2011. And I just remember being like, that is a game I absolutely have to play.
Yeah.
So fucking cool. Like the zombies looked so ridiculously realistic. All the fire effects looked amazing.
Yep.
And for those of you on video, we've got it here. So yeah, it starts at the end and then it reverses back through itself. And then it shows you like how we got there. And I just remember thinking like, what a cool way to tell your story in the trailer. But what do you remember, or what do you like most about the original Dead Island?
It's co-op. All my buddies and I could all play together.
Okay, yeah.
Drop kicking zombies, man. I remember there's this one point, I think I ended up playing with some random people, and they were like modders or something like that, and they were able to give me like uber powerful weapons. And this is when I was done playing, but
Sure.
But I was just like, now I have this like baseball bat that can smack somebody and they go flying all across the map, all electrified, and it doesn't break, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, that was that, and then my buddy's playing, and then it was so realistic back then. It was scary, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. Like imagining that when I was like 17, 18, and
Sure.
just like, yeah, what will you do? And I'm like, oh no. And it's just gory and messy. Oh, dude, it's the best.
Yeah. I actually never got to play the original game. I was so impressed by the E3 trailer, and then like by the time it came out, I think like it didn't, in terms of the reviews, didn't like light the world on fire. You know, it's got a lot of 7s, it's got some 5s, like, and people had mentioned that like the gameplay was fun, but it was really short.
Yeah.
And I think like the reviews kind of soured me on it for whatever reason, and I never ended up actually checking it out.
Oh man.
So
You missed out.
for sure. I think I missed out because I became a huge fan of Dying Light, which is the same studio, Techland.
Okay.
Made Dying Light after I think Dead Island the rights got sold or something, and so back to Dead Island 2. This is a game that has been in development for years. I think they started working on it shortly after the first game came out in 2013, I think.
Yeah. Yep. But it's been passed around too. Like you said, the developers it has changed hands multiple times, and that's why it's taken so long for it to come out.
Yeah, one of the first studios to work on it, it was after THQ got sold to what was to become the Embracer Group. It was Nordic Games then. So THQ got sold to Nordic Games, and then I think the studio that's working on it now is the third developer
Oh my
that
gosh.
has touched this game. Like, what a weird thing to start with. Like you're working on other people's tech. Let's fucking can this whole thing. Like, we can't figure these systems out.
Start from the bottom.
Yeah, and start from scratch. Just like crazy.
Man, and I mean because this is in the new game, Dead Island 2 is based in LA, right?
Yes, Los Angeles.
So I played a lot of Grand Theft Auto. So a lot of these places, I've never been to Los Angeles, but I know a lot of these places.
But you've toured it in video.
Yeah,
games.
exactly.
I like it. Yeah.
And that's the same thing. People have said the same thing about Assassin's Creed 2. They like people like you run through the city of Italy, Rome, and people have actually figured out how to get through Rome because of Assassin's Creed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a couple Reddit posts about that, but I mean, same thing with Dead Island 2. That beach right there that he's on, that's like the best spot to go to in Grand Theft Auto. You know, you just drive your dirt bikes in there, your jet skis over there. You got the little pier with the roller coaster and the Ferris wheel and all that stuff. So a lot of these places I recognize.
That's awesome. So having not played the first one, but coming to Dead Island 2 from Dying Light, I notice a lot of the same DNA in terms of like the weapon upgrades.
Yep.
And I think visually, Dead Island 2 looks fucking awesome.
Yes.
Like, it's so clean, and like at night, exploring at night is really cool. And Dead Island 2 is a lot more linear than Dying Light, because Dying Light is an open world game, and the focus is on exploration, whereas Dead Island 2 forces you down certain paths, and you got to make sure that you're, I guess, doing the things that they want you to be doing at any given time. How much of the exploration have you done?
Well, I mean, you can only do so much because some of
Right.
those zombies are so powerful that you cannot take them on. So I like go to a certain area and I'm like, oh, I want to do this side mission, and then it's like a level 20 zombie, and I'm just smacking him in the head with a sword, and it's not doing anything. It's just bouncing off his head. But yeah, I haven't. I try to do as much as I can, but there gets to that point where it's just like I just keep on dying.
Yeah.
And I can't do it unless I have somebody there with me. and then they help me get through that. But even then, both of us are just whacking one zombie just over and over again, just constantly beating the crap out of this thing, and it's not going down, and it's just a regular zombie.
Right.
And the gore system in this is
Explain that to the listener.
it like you smack a zombie in the head with a 2x4, chunks of his head will go flying off. Like you will start seeing skull. And then at one point the zombies will like come up to you and grab you, and its face is all mangled, jaws hanging off, and it's in your face trying to bite you with its half jaw on, half not, and you're just like, get out of my face, man! Like, oh, it's disgusting, really, but it's cool. I've never really seen something like this where you smack their arm and it gets down to their bone in their arm, and then they can't use this arm anymore, and it's like just swinging around, and then like same thing, smack them in the head, their jaw basically comes off, and it's just like, what?
Yeah, the gore system, I love it. It reminds me of the when they first showed Dead Space. They called it strategic dismemberment in the way that you would take down those enemies. And it reminds me of Dead Space. I've been playing with the character Danny.
Okay.
So we should explain, you don't create your own character in Dead Island 2.
Yes.
You have certain characters that have certain classes. I chose Danny. She's like a sarcastic Irish woman, and she's like a punk rocker chick. So she's got like spiked boots on, and I've been really enjoying playing as her because she focuses on heavy melee weapons. So like maces and sledgehammers and stuff like that. And my favorite thing to do is fucking sweep the legs with the melee.
Yeah.
And then they just fall down because I've smashed their bones in their legs.
Yes.
And then stomp their faces in. It's so good. She's fantastic as a character. I am really enjoying the story too.
Yeah.
And I am curious to play it with other characters. So I think the story's not too long. I'm probably 2/3 of the way through it is my guess right now. I have 8 to 10 hours in.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah. I started with Jacob.
Okay.
Which I think he was more stamina, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's what I would mainly, because I looked at the other characters. Each character has their own flaws. Like I don't know, the flaws for your character might be stamina, but she's really good with strength or whatever. And
yeah.
I know Jacob was like, overall he was pretty good. I forget what his exact weaknesses were, but I think his main thing was stamina. And that's what I was like, okay, I'm going to need stamina because there's going to be a lot of zombies and I'm going to be swinging a lot and I need to take out as many as I can.
Yeah.
And I want to keep drop kicking zombies.
I did not really consider that. I did not know. I mean, obviously, all the things that you do physically are going to cost stamina. That's typically a video game system. But that was just not something that I considered. I didn't know how big of a focus melee was going to be in the game. And in Dying Light, the melee is the focus too.
Yep.
But you can get guns, right, Malcolm, in Dying Light?
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah, you can pick up weapons.
I thought you could get guns. You played a lot of Dying Light as well.
Yeah, because you can pick up stuff from there's like weapons, like little bags and stuff that you can search through.
Okay, yes,
pick up ammo.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for reminding me. There's a lot of DLC weapons too in Dying Light, and I have the definitive enhanced edition, the most recent re-release of that game with all the DLC.
Well.
So it's like $12.
Way.
I hate you guys. But that has a lot of really cool guns in it. So I was not sure if that's how, Dead Island 2 was going to be. And I have not found any like actual
There's supposed to be.
shooty guns.
There's supposed to be.
Guns.
I don't know how far in the game it is, but I think you get it's like rare, scarce like ammo and guns and stuff like that, or it might just be like end game thing.
I think I've found ammo, but I don't think I've found any.
I found ammo.
Any weapons.
Yeah, exactly.
To use the ammo on.
I don't know if you can craft them either. I didn't really get into the crafting that much.
Oh, really?
I did a couple, and then obviously I just repair my weapons.
Right.
But I was just kind of waiting to I hoard all my stuff, and then I get like a really good weapon, and then I focus on that weapon.
I gotcha. So you've been doing the this will be a little bit, kind of a deep dive in it, but the upgrade cost for following your character up levels, you've been committing that to one weapon? Is that what you're saying?
For the most part, yeah. I try to upgrade that one. What is it? There's like a katana or something like that in some rich guy's mansion in the back, like locked up, and I found that. So I've been just using that, and I think I got it electrified. So I've just been upgrading it as I go. And I've just been getting rid of everything else because my inventory just keeps on getting full, and I just destroy the other stuff so I can get more scraps or whatever parts.
Right. It took me a long time to figure out where to sell my weapons. And I still don't know, like, I don't think I have that loop quite down yet. Because I don't really have that many vendors unlocked. So I fill up with trash in my inventory that I'm like, I would love to go back and sell this, but I'm actually really far away from a vendor.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to like stop what I'm doing in terms of searching the world and stuff. So like you said, I end up scrapping a lot of my stuff as I'm playing through. Unfortunately, I won't get the money for selling it that way, but
I mean, I've only found one vendor, and that's in your home base.
Okay, yeah, that's all I've found as well, is just that one guy.
That's I don't know if like I don't know if each specific map has I don't know if each specific map has a vendor just hidden somewhere, because that main map is where the mansion is, and that's where that one vendor is, and I don't know. I haven't been to the beach yet, the Los Angeles beach, but I have been to like 2 other maps.
Okay, so it looks like Malcolm has the list of vendors pulled up here. Thank you, Malcolm. So Carlos is the first guy that you run into in Bel Air, and then it looks like there's 7 more, 8 total, and a couple in Beverly Hills. I just made it to Beverly Hills.
Yep, that's for
so that's pretty much where I'm at. The first section that I'm running into is like you come to a couple who's arguing in a house.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you did that part of the quest?
Yep, I beat that part.
Okay. And I'm just beyond that. I think I found their daughter. They're sending you after to look for their daughter.
Yep.
And then the place that they send you to, I thought was one of the better missions that I've done so far. All the missions have been really cool. I really haven't done any missions where it's like, why am I doing this? This is boring. And I think that's part of like, that's one thing I'm loving the most about it, because a lot of, we were talking last week a little bit about Mass Effect being pretty empty.
Yes.
In terms of exploration and stuff like that. And that's not even an open world game. It wants to be, but it's not. And like the crafted experience isn't a thing that you get typically in games anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, like one of the missions when you're coming back to the mansion and it turns dark, there's like a side mission out there. There's this girl who's like a popular YouTube live streamer, and then she's like on this rooftop and she's like, hey, we need to do some cool stuff for my viewers, we need to kill some zombies. You need to drop kick 6 of them off the building and I'll record it for you, and then you drop kick 6 of them and there's just like hordes of zombies just coming at you. I ended up running out of my weapons, all just were gone. Or the durability was gone. So I was literally just running around. There's like fires everywhere. So I was strategically running in front of the fire. So zombies would run in front of the fire and they'd run at me. I'd kick them back in the fire because I couldn't do anything. I just started throwing the broken weapons too. And I had nothing. I literally had nothing. But that mission was like intense.
That was one of the, so glad you brought that one up. That's actually the one I was thinking of in my head.
Okay.
Because I ran across that too, because you can hear her yelling from the street. And so, going up to that, I had full stock of weapons.
Yeah.
And I have all of my weapons pretty much upgraded for durability. like increased durability, I guess.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so I didn't run out of weapons for sure. I ran out of the 3 main ones that I used, which is like a blue mace. And then I have a katana, but I don't use it that often because she focuses on the heavier weapons.
Blunt weapons, yep.
Yeah. The mace is really awesome though. And the drop kicking, since I had not played the first game, I did not realize that was even like a holdover from the game. So when I first got the drop kicking ability, I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Drop kicking zombies feels so fucking cool.
Yep.
That is amazing. And drop kicking them off the roof feels even better because there's like a glass partition that separates, like you from the roof. So you can drop kick them through that glass partition if you haven't broken it already.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is one super cool quest for sure.
Yep. You got zombies running at you. You got zombies walking at you. You got big buff giant zombies just slowly walking towards you. And once they touch you, you just go flying.
Yeah.
Yeah. It got intense for me. Like, yeah, I started running around since I only focus on that one weapon. That was my problem because I only have one weapon upgraded.
Right.
So all my other ones were just crap. So once I ran out of that good one, I just like started running around finding weapons. 2x4, just start throwing it at the big guy. I don't know. I just tried everything.
There are some basically sticks if you're running around that area. It's like pick up this piece of 2x4 but they're almost useless. Like yeah. For sure.
Oh man. Yeah, there's that. And then I guess there's one main mission where you end up in a like studio. I don't know if you've gotten to that part. And it's like different sets and you have to like run around to each set and do something. I saw some videos for it and I'm really looking forward to getting to that point.
So the place, are you talking about the streamer's house?
No.
Okay.
Nope,
because I've been through the streamer's house, but this is a different thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
The streamer house had like an apology board with like, I'm sorry for what I said. I shouldn't have said it. You know, like what streamers are doing nowadays and stuff like that. And had like a streamer room and there was just like, you could tell which one was a streamer and they had no legs. They're just crawling around in there and everything. And yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, later on, the main mission is it's after that point where you find the one couple's daughter.
Okay.
And then you look for the one guy who ran away and you get to that point
that's exactly where I am right now is looking for that guy.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've found him yet.
Yeah. There's a studio and it's like different sets. And then you have to do something in there. I don't know what it is, but it looked really fun because you're running from like, from like Family Matters to Seinfeld set, stuff like that. And there's like music playing in there and you're just trying to run.
Awesome.
And you're setting things on fire. Yeah. I saw a video of it and I'm like, okay, that looks pretty fun. That looks like a fun map.
Have you gotten into like changing the card abilities or anything like that yet?
A little bit, but they don't really. There's a couple of them that are really good, but like other ones, I'm just like, okay, I mean, I guess I can use this. Don't really need it, but
I wonder if those are random because like right now so it unlocked the dropkick ability.
Yeah.
And I'm on my second of the dropkick ability. So one of the cards that I got was like, okay, you don't drop with both legs, so you don't have to get back up. So it's actually like a flying kick rather than a drop kick. It does the same thing.
Yeah.
It kicks the zombies, which is what you want.
Yeah.
And admittedly, it does not look as cool. The drop kick looks very, very cool. But the flying kick is just as useful. It just doesn't look as cool.
Yeah.
And your character, like I said, recovers from that faster because you don't fall to the ground.
Yeah.
So, but you did not get the flying kick yet?
I think I think it was I mean, I have the flying kick.
Okay.
But I don't think I used it but I think it was just because it said it was less damage.
Yeah.
Or something
I believe
like that.
so.
There was like a downside to it, and I was like, yeah, I'm okay with full on drop kicking a zombie instead, and get that full damage.
That full damage.
Yeah. So I think a lot of those cards come with pluses, but also minuses.
Yeah.
Pros and cons. So I think that's why some of them just like, I guess I can use this one just to have it, but we'll see. I haven't unlocked a whole lot though.
Yeah, I think when you're looking at that skill tree, The top tier has like 5 or 6 cards, and then it gets less and less cards as you work your way down the tree. And I don't even have half of it filled out yet for sure. I'm like maybe a third of the cards unlocked so far. And I don't really even have that many cards that I can be swapping out. So I was not 100% sure how much that stuff would even impact the game later, you know, once you have all the cards unlocked, or if, you know, if it's a random thing, if maybe you don't unlock all the cards, you know, you got to pull them from boxes or whatever. I was unsure of how, since the rest of the game is so structured and more or less linear, there's a couple different areas to explore, but it's mostly linear. I didn't know if the card system was also linear or if you would get those at random.
I don't know. I feel like the cards would be different for each character because they have different strengths, maybe. You know?
Well, so we both got the flying kick, so at least that one. I'm sure there's some overlap, but your 2 starting skills for sure are different with every character.
Yeah.
And they were talking about the cards allowing you to customize your way to play regardless of your character.
Okay, yeah. So everybody gets the same, but you can go your own way pretty much.
And I think some cards probably work better for other characters than,
Yeah.
you know, like that kind of thing.
Well, yeah, like with yours having like a blunt, extra damage on blunt objects.
Right.
You know, obviously
if I got a
better for
card that
yours.
did that,
Yeah.
would be better for my character.
And
for sure.
and I think Jacob's is the character I'm playing. His is blades or something like that.
Okay. So that's why the katana's been working pretty well, except for that time that it didn't.
Yeah, except for I got overwhelmed and there's so many zombies.
Right.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start having more than one weapon upgraded.
Yeah, you might want to give that a shot for sure. Another thing from this game that I like is the glory kills. So they basically took the, I don't know if it's called that, but it's called that in Doom, which is what it reminds me of. So when a zombie gets downed or, like especially the larger ones, when they get close to the end of their health bar,
Yes.
you can hit, I think it's like X and then right trigger. I don't remember the button combination, but it's basically like a quick time event. It's like smash this motherfucker's face. And with the blunt force, you just fucking smash the head in with the mace. Oh, it's so gory. Blood, brains, you know, jaw bits flying all over. Like it's pretty intense.
It probably feels good, especially if you're whacking at that zombie constantly. And he will not go down. He's just making you mad, and you get that final kill. And you're just like, all right, this is it. Boom. Yeah.
It feels really good.
Feel really, really good.
The sound effects are really satisfying. There's a really nice thud on the weapons, on the, you know, the ones that I'm using anyways with my character, you know, a really nice bone crushing thud. I'm not really sure how they got that. If there was some mortuary that they
Donated
grabbed
to
a
science.
shovel, like
No, they get that gelatin thing from what was it, Deadliest Warrior? You ever watch that? It's like they have like 2 Deadliest Warriors, so like a samurai and a medieval knight go against each other, but then they have swords go against they use like swords from back then on like these like gelatin like human like bodies.
Okay.
And then it like they'll have him swing at it and then it'll like cut into them. You can hear it go shrink, you know, and stuff like that. And I probably get that feeling they got that from that. Just getting their how it looks and how it sounds from how it looked like back then.
I know in Gears of War, if you listen to, or it's either I don't remember if it's game commentary or if it's in like one of the collector's editions or whatever, but they talk about how they get the sound effects in Gears of War. And obviously like you're chainsawing people in half and stuff, right? So there's a lot of gristly sounding sound effects in that game as well. And they filled like a 30-gallon drum with steak and put enough water in there for like the steak to slosh around.
All right.
And then they would shoot into the barrel, and then, you know, that's how, and it wasn't like an actual gun. It was some like an air cannon or whatever.
Yeah.
So that you wouldn't get the gunshot noise, but you would get the meat smashing noise when a projectile hit it.
Gosh.
So
What?
gross. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Super cool.
That's insane.
That's wonderful.
Wonder what I'm gonna do when I get home.
I've already got the barrel filled. It's your lucky day.
All right.
Malcolm, you played a lot of Dying Light. Any interest in Dead Island 2? Is that one you picked up?
I know we talked about it.
Yeah.
I just hadn't. I think when you and I talked about it, I logged in and my Xbox needed an update. So, and it's probably still updating.
Yeah.
No,
The internet's that slow.
no, I just hadn't like made it back to it. Like,
Okay.
had that not been, I probably would have downloaded it that night.
And it's only 2-player co-op. Is that correct? You and one other person for Dead Island 2?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's just 2-player.
So I can't be your guys' third wheel.
Right.
Damn.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I don't know because in Dead Island, the first one it was 4-player.
Okay.
So this one also might be 4-player too.
That would be
Because there is
odd
4
for,
characters.
Yeah, because Left
That
4
would
Dead
make
was
sense, yeah.
Left 4 Dead was 4 players, so that'd be kind of odd.
I don't know
Like
about I played Dying Light 2 also, but I think that one was only 2-player.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that one was only 2-player. But I mean, I feel like the only thing missing from Dead Island 2 from Dying Light 2 is parkour.
Dude, when I was first like starting to explore the world, that was one of the things where I'm like, this feels and looks a lot like Dying Light.
Yep.
But god damn it, I can't climb on that awning. Like there's, some vehicles you can jump on top of, but there's almost zero vertical exploration.
Yeah.
Because your character just isn't as mobile vertically. And I was really, really missing that. I think there's some multiverse perfect world where Dying Light 2 and Dead Island 2 are actually the same game, and it combines the best of both of them together.
Yeah.
But that is not the world we live in
Not this
today.
world. Nope.
I was missing the parkour for sure.
I got a question on the weapons.
Okay.
So like, can you customize the weapons, or these are just like pre-made weapons? Like you can only upgrade like features of the weapons.
So what I've noticed so far is features of the weapon. So like I'm not sure if this is on the screen for the listeners and the viewers, but the axe that's in the center, it has some sort of battery pack strapped to it. So that would be an example of like, you didn't completely change that axe, but you added the electroshock ability to it. I have not found, in terms of the crafting, I have not found that it changes the weapons very much. Like it does slightly alter the way that they look, but not drastically to the point where, I don't know, it doesn't seem like I'm using an entirely new weapon when I customize or when I modify it.
So when you increase the shock, you're not actually getting D batteries. They're just still AAAs on there.
So that doesn't appear to be a thing. So if you add shock to a weapon, I don't have any blueprints yet. That's how you modify your weapons, just like Dying Light is blueprints. But I don't have any blueprints yet that are like, you can't modify that blueprint. If it adds 2 shock, it adds 2 shock, it adds 2 shock. And it'll do that for every weapon you add it to. But there isn't like I'm going to upgrade the fireman's axe to be 4 shock. I have not found that to be the case at the upgrade bench.
Nope.
So it's a little limiting, the upgrade system is, compared to, I think, even the first Dying Light, because there's a lot of stuff you can do in that game and a lot of upgrades you can do.
But all these weapons you can break down for scrap, you were saying?
Yeah, but the scrap is just like, it's literally called scrap. So it's not like, there are other things that you can find, but maybe you get like a fabric or a piece of wood if you break down the right weapon, but I haven't found breaking them down to really be a net benefit either.
Nope.
What do you do with the scrap?
You just use it to upgrade your stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like he said, you just get like cloth or fiber or something to upgrade your weapons or to make other stuff like health med packs or Molotovs or something along those lines.
Gotcha.
And there's things that you're finding in the world too. So as you're exploring, there are a lot of suitcases and boxes and containers to open. And you get certain things as you get a lot of crafting elements as you're opening those up. And I think those are randomized in such a way as to, like, sometimes weapons pop out of those for me.
Yeah.
And my blue mace actually came from one of those.
Ooh,
so,
really?
yeah. There are like military packs that you can open too.
Yes.
And I have not successfully opened one of those yet because every time I go to open one, it's like, oh, you need X key.
Yeah.
So I go on the internet, like, where the fuck do I find this key? And every single time it's been, okay, wait till nighttime and then take down this giant zombie over in a place that you aren't at yet. And you need to be like level 30 to take him down. Like, okay, well, I guess I'm just going to run back through this area later again.
Yeah.
So they're kind of expecting you to go through those environments more than once and do exploration more than once.
Yep.
Which is kind of nice. It's kind of nice that the like suitcases and stuff reload every time you go back to that area. So it's like, oh, well, I looted 17 of these suitcases, so now there's just nothing here to find. There's still stuff to find. It just might not really be worth it at some point.
Yeah.
More like generic stuff in there.
Yeah, because I think I'm maxed out on scrap. And like you can only hold a certain amount of each of the crafting materials. And it's not like you're utilizing those crafting materials as fast as you're finding them, at least from what I've found.
Yeah.
I've had more than enough to do the upgrades when I've needed to do the upgrades.
Yep.
Do you have to find food and water in this game or no?
Food for health, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Food, like protein bars, energy drinks, those things.
Stamina or no? Just health.
It's just health.
Okay.
At least from what I've seen, the energy drink might do something for stamina, but it definitely regains health when you use it for sure.
Yeah. I think it does stamina too. One last thing, the environments. Like there is one part of the main mission where you go into that hotel at the very beginning and there's like this like big like crater in the ground and there's like oil spilling down something down there. There's like a couple propane tanks down there too. And there's a horde of zombies down there. And you can like just throw one of your flaming weapons down there and it just creates this huge explosion. And it's so satisfying just seeing all those. And then some of them are still, those zombies are still on fire and they're still just walking towards you on fire. And you're just like, I'm taking you down. You're going down, buddy. But yeah, I think a lot of the environments, especially the propane tanks that got laying around. And what I don't like is these zombies just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like one just crawls out from under a dumpster, under a car, or out of the sewer, and you're just like, more zombies to kill? Like I've already killed 20 of you in this area. Where do you keep on coming from?
That's been just a tad bit annoying for me because you will literally look away from a direction you've been staring for 5 minutes. You turn left and then you get attacked from the right, like fucking immediately.
Yep.
I'm like, bitch, I know you weren't there.
Yep.
You were not. I was just looking in this direction.
Have you explored any of like the houses? Like not like the mansions, but like a normal house. Like I've went through, cleared the house, cleared the bottom floor, went upstairs, cleared upstairs, and I come back into the hallway to go downstairs. There's like 4 or 5 zombies right there. And I'm like, where did you guys come from? I go downstairs. I kill those 4 of them. I go back downstairs. There's 5 more down there. I'm like, okay, I'm just running past you guys.
Right.
This is just like, this is too much. I'm not going to kill every single one of you. I want to, but I'm not going to.
Probably left the door open.
I did leave the door open.
Oh, dude, why did you leave the door open?
I have to invite them in, right? Oh no, that's
vampires.
That's vampires.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably the only like annoyance I found. And then they have this new zombie that throws flies at you or something like that.
Yes.
It's like,
I've run into those. I forget. It's like maybe Zapper or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't even know where it was coming from. I'm like, why am I getting hurt?
Yeah.
But it's just one zombie just off in the disc going, ah! And then he just like, there's like a cloud of things coming at you.
Yeah, it's like toxic bees or
Yeah,
some shit that he has to throw at you. And
Yeah.
the enemy variety has been fun to think of ways to deal with.
Yeah.
Those guys, but having an enemy that has a ranged attack, but you don't have a ranged attack, kind of sucks because you have to run at him. I have not thrown I'm like,
I constantly just throw the
I think I got burned on that. I don't remember if it was I think it was in the original Dying Light.
Yeah.
That I threw my weapon and it fell through the map.
What?
And I was like, that was my favorite fucking weapon. Where the fuck did it go?
You never throw your favorite weapon.
Dude. So I have not thrown any weapons. Like, God forbid I lose these fucking things.
I throw all the ones that I don't want.
Okay.
But it like sticks in their body. So you can just like pull it back out of their body, jump back, throw it again,
Okay, that's pretty cool.
and then just constantly just do it over and over again. I think that's what I did with the that streamer that was yelling at you to kill all the zombies. I just like had that 2x4 and I just kept on throwing it. I just bounce off of them and go pick it up again.
Right.
But yeah, I love throwing stuff at zombies. Drop kicking them too. Yeah, it's fun.
You'd mentioned the environmental kills that you could get on zombies.
Yeah.
So they allow you to set up environmental kills in really cool ways in this game because you can find water cans and oil cans throughout the world. So if you have an electric weapon, you can carry a water can over to a bunch of zombies, dump the water on the ground, and electrify that puddle.
Yep.
So you can like set up your own environmental kills in really cool ways.
Yes.
And I found when I first got to that house in Beverly Hills, before I went into the house, there's that pool there and there's a small puzzle to solve by the pool.
Yeah.
But there's in the back of the house, there's a choke point because the fence comes together. So zombies keep coming through that back fence.
Yeah.
And there's an oil can right there. So I kept running up, dumping the oil can and then lighting that on fire. And I probably killed 30 zombies walking through there. I kept lighting the oil on fire. It sets up really interesting ways for you to take them out that way.
Yep.
A lot of loot on them.
Oh, there's not that much loot on the actual zombies. The best loot is found in chests throughout the world. So they might have, some of them might drop some fabric or whatever, some dollars. But
I think the first boss that you fight drops like brass knuckles, some like really good brass knuckles or something like that. So I mean, like bosses, you might get some good stuff on, but like he said, you just get like scraps.
Yeah, looting the zombies is not the best part. Killing the zombies is absolutely the best part.
That gore system.
So fucking satisfying.
Yep.
Killing the zombies.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we talked about Dead Island 2 for a while. So let's move on from that. I want to talk a little bit about Warlander because I don't know what that is. That was one you've been playing, Austyn?
Yeah, actually, one of my buddies, they got me into it because it is actually free to play. And I think it's free to play on Steam and on Xbox.
Okay.
I don't know about PlayStation. I'm assuming it might be on PlayStation also as free. But it's basically a upgraded version of Happy Wars. If you've ever played that, that was like back in 2010.
It was like a free to play Flash Java game, right?
And
Like
it was so fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Basically, in Warlander, it is siege battles. So basically,
like
you can
tower defense kind of thing.
kind of, yeah. I mean, you can build your own defenses on each side, but either it is a 1v1 or it is a 5-way battle. So and each
like 5 people against all of the other people.
So it's 5. Or so each team has 20 players with them.
Okay.
So and then usually it's a 1v1. So like 20 people versus 20 people.
Okay.
Or it is 20 against 20 against 20 against 100 people, basically.
What?
Yes, a 5-way battle. Yeah.
Okay.
And basically, it's you get to choose whether you want to be when you first start the game. You get to decide your tactics. Either you want to be more of an assault squad, like your whole unit, or you'll be a defensive or just balanced.
Okay.
So basically, then after that, you get to volunteer for what you want to be. Either you want to be a defensive, your 4-man unit is a defensive unit or an assault or a specialized unit, and that is specializes to take towers.
Okay.
So it's easier to spawn in instead of spawning in at your base. And then each time, each team is trying to attack the other's castle and destroy their core.
Okay.
And then each squad is able to build up defenses at their castle. And it's all like medieval times kind of thing. So you have your regular warrior, you have a cleric, which is like a healer, kind of like that, and then you have a mage, who one of his abilities is finger guns, and he gets to shoot little arrows out of his fingers. And he goes, "Do, do, 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 do," which is actually pretty fun. I like that. That's probably one of the fun aspects of being a mage.
So the gameplay itself, is it top down, third person, first person?
Third person.
Okay.
Yeah, third person all the way. And just like in Happy Wars, there's like 3 ways to get to each castle. So if it's like a 20 versus 20, there's only 3 ways to get through. And there's actually like bridges that you can destroy. So then one of those ways is now gone.
Okay.
So now you only have 2 ways to go through, and there's a lot of choke point battles. So you four people can hold off like 10 guys, just because it's just a small choke point. And then mages have like different abilities of like firewall. You know, they can have a tornado ability where they can shoot a tornado at somebody and it'll like stun them. Warriors have like a charging ability, or a warrior has like a power bomb.
Okay.
He picks up the person and then slams them on the ground. Oh yeah, it's nice.
Okay. Okay.
But like the cleric is mainly like a healer, but she has like a warhammer and a shield.
Yeah.
But she can also do this one ability where she like raises her hammer up and then she'll like slam it down the ground and it heals everybody around you, but also does damage to the enemies.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a pretty intense game. There's lots of people. At least I've seen lots of people are playing it.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fun, I would say. And there's like they call it cataclysms. So basically every like 3 minutes, this like totem will appear randomly on the map, and you go to it, and it will either be a meteor storm, or a tornado, or a giant robot that you can control and attack other castles with.
Okay.
And these meteors showers, since you are trying to defend your castle, so if somebody gets up to your castle with this cataclysm and it's a meteor shower, your walls are gone.
Okay.
Your walls are gone, and then it's so much easier for people to attack. And then in the 5-way battle, you're able to alliance with people, and then break that alliance, and then just start attacking them.
How do you indicate you are in an alliance?
So you can try to run as a commander. So basically, if you're a commander, then you get to tell, okay, all the assault squads, I want you to attack said castle. You know, I want you guys to go to this castle. Okay, my specialized units, I want you guys to go get these catapults, use these catapults, and then attack said castle.
And are you directing this in game, or are you on the microphone being like?
No, not on the microphone. It's all like objectives that will appear on your screen.
I gotcha.
Yeah. And as commander, you can also make alliances, which since such a low level, I can only make 1 alliance each game.
Okay.
Which is terrible. And then I can break 1 alliance each game too. So I mean, other people can ally with me.
Yeah.
My team. But I mean, the alliances only last like 2 minutes. I think the whole game maybe lasts like 15 to 20 minutes, if that. But I have yet to lose in a 5-way battle, because usually like one team or another will lose, but then there's still 3 of you, and you're just constantly just trying to get each other, and it just takes too long and the game ends.
Is there respawns or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have respawns. So if you take these towers out in the field, you can spawn on these towers, or you can spawn at your base. And basically, if somebody gets in your castle and hits your core has 100% health. If they hit your core and it goes down to 99, and the other team has 100% core life, like nobody's touched it, they'll win the game if the time ends.
Okay.
That's one thing I
Your
learned.
core life is like your score.
Yes.
'Kay.
Yeah. So if anybody hits it, anybody touches it, then you're less likely to win because it'll be lower health than somebody else's who has 100% health.
I see. And is that the way, like, is that primarily the way to win? So you don't get points for killing people, you don't get points for making or breaking alliances, like that kind of stuff?
I mean, you get points for killing people, but the main thing is to get those cores. That's how you win the game.
Okay.
You can kill as many people as you want. You could tear down their gates, you can destroy their walls, whatever. But if you don't touch their core, then
Are there some MOBA elements? Like, so as you're playing, let's say you're the mage,
Yes.
and you get 5 kills, do you upgrade while you're in the match at all? Or is it like what you pick at the beginning is set?
so basically there is things called titles.
Okay.
So once you level up your character, you can give them a title, which then will make it where you have to get a certain amount of points to play that as that character.
Okay.
So you can play as a character with no title or anything. That's how you start off as.
Yeah.
As you kill, you get more points, and then you can play as your upgraded characters.
Okay.
So I have a couple upgraded characters that I can't play right away. It's like kind of like I mean, I played Star Wars Battlefront 2. You can only play as like the normal guys.
Right.
You know, but
I
once
see.
you get more kills, you can start playing as people with lightsabers and Jedis and stuff like that.
Okay, so you have like an overall account level
Yes.
that's outside of the game
Yes.
that allows you to play as different characters.
Yeah. So you create it's called like a deck. So I have a basic warrior who I can play as no matter what. And then I have a like level, I think the max level is like 4 or 5. I have a level 2 mage, a level 3 cleric, and a level 4 warrior. So I have to get like a ton of kills and a ton of points to get to that point where I want to be that level 4 warrior.
Okay.
But the thing is, once I am that level 4 warrior and I die, I have to wait like 2 minutes or a minute to play that character again.
Really?
But I do have the cleric that I can play as. I can have the mage
Sure.
I can play as. I have my normal warrior I can play as much as I want. But the titles give you more ability to have better abilities.
Okay.
So like with the warrior, there's like a whirlwind attack where you just constantly swing your sword. And then there's like a charge rush where you charge them. And even after shield up, they'll just go flying. The better titles, the more stuff you can put on your character. And you can put armor and cosmetics on your character so you can make them look different.
Okay. Is that where the money is made?
Yeah.
Is the cosmetics?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
They have a battle pass basically.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I'm a sucker for a good battle pass and like unicorn helmets and whatnot. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they have a unicorn helmet. They got emotes too and stuff like that, just like kind of like Fortnite does too. But
Now,
it's a pretty fun game.
it has mixed reviews on Steam. Malcolm has the Steam page pulled up here. What don't you like about it?
I think right now is since it's free to play, and it's cross-play too, at least with Xbox and PC, there's a lot of hackers.
Oh,
So people with unlimited abilities,
Yeah.
unlimited resurrects,
That
and stuff
sucks.
like that. I think that would be the problem. I have yet to have that problem yet, at least as far as I've noticed. I probably just thought I got my butt kicked, but
yeah.
it was actually they were just hackers or something
Right.
like that. You know how it goes.
People ruining the fucking game for everybody else as usual.
But I mean, it just came out and it's still on its first like season.
Okay.
So I mean, there's not really much more to it other than the 20 versus 20 and the 100-man battle. Mm-hmm. And then only the 3 different characters, and that's
Okay.
it. So there's not really much.
Not really that many modes.
There's not much to it, but
Okay.
it's free to play.
Yeah.
It's a really easy game to play as, to learn, to understand. If you like siege battles, this will be definitely a game to check out.
It looks artistically, it looks a little more realistic than like Paladins or Overwatch does.
Okay.
Malcolm's got it pulled up here on the screen. I like it though. Like there's really good definition on the costumes that are your character's wearing. Good fire effects, decent grass. Like I'm into this. This looks cool. For sure.
Yeah, and they got more game modes coming out here soon. They haven't really said what they are though.
Okay.
But there is some stuff that they got coming out.
Okay. Can I camp and snipe people with an LMG like I do in Call of Duty?
If you hack like the hackers do. I mean the mage has different types of like abilities. Like instead of the finger guns, you get a ice spear, which that one has like long range, but it like has a little bit longer reload, I guess, or like casting, you know.
Okay.
So I mean, you can if you want, and there's also a catapult too, and that's especially if you're the specialist squad. Your main objective is to get that catapult and then attack the other castle with that catapult. And you can
Okay, so it's like on the map, and you've got to go cap it.
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
You got to build it
cool.
up, build it real quick.
Oh, okay.
And then get on it and then shoot it. But the thing is, if enemy comes and knocks you off it, they can take it right away.
Okay.
And the main thing the catapult needs to do is destroy the other siege weapons.
Do they have the ability to also build their own catapult?
I think for the 20 versus 20, there's only one catapult.
Okay.
And then it's like right in the center, and you can turn it and look at whatever castle you want to and hit it. And then on the 100-man battle, there's 2 catapults. And they're like on the opposite ends of the map. So you can't really hit. I think you actually can hit each other, but one catapult can only hit 3 castles and can't hit the other 2. But the other castle can hit those 2 castles and another, but not the other 2 over there.
Okay.
But yeah, there's like on the castles, there's like cannons and ballistas that you can use. When you're attacking the castle, you can build a battering ram and a siege tower or ladders to get into the castle. I think that's about it for building wise.
Are there different maps, or do you play on the same map all the time?
I think for the 100-man battle, for the 5 castle squad, it's only one map. But I think the 20 versus 21, that one is just, I think that's 2 maps, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of different maps right now.
So on the map here,
Yeah. Okay. So what Malcolm has up there is the 5-man battle. There's red, there's green, there's yellow, there's pink, and there's blue. And there's only like 2 different ways or 3 different ways to get to that person's castle.
Okay.
And basically there's all these little towers that are out there that you can go capture. And once you capture that, you can spawn there.
oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also under the map is the alliance thing, which has like a little, like you're red, and then it has, green, and then it'll actually draw a line when you're alliance. And then it'll have like a little time limit up there saying you're only allied to them for a set amount of time. But what were you going to say, Malcolm?
So you answered it, like all the little white pieces there are the
Yes.
spawn points that you can capture.
Yes, yeah.
Another thing that popped up, the hold the first line of defense, is that coming from your commander or the person that's in charge or whatever? Like that's the
Yes.
stuff that. So if you're playing with somebody in your squad and they're in charge and they give out a command, it'll pop up on your screen like that.
So there's only going to be one commander for the whole army, for the whole 20-man army.
Okay.
But there's 5 squads of 4. But you only get whatever commands from the commander for that whole team.
And so if your buddy's the commander and he's giving out things, it'll pop up on your screen like that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Which in this screen, this guy's not even in the castle. He's out fighting people instead of...
What a rookie.
Because right at the top left, it says Castle, what does it say? Castle Guard Squad.
Yeah.
And he's out there fighting people in the middle of the battlefield.
What an ass hat.
So he's not even following whatever he's supposed to be doing,
Probably some streamer trying to get a money shot.
Oh, there was this, we actually, I forget what the guy's Twitch name was, but we were playing with this, me and my buddies were playing, and the guy's name had to do something with feet.
Okay.
And it was really weird. So one of my buddies looked it up, and it's a guy who plays games with his feet.
What?
And it's insane because he's so good at it. He's better than me with me playing with my hands. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'll have to look it up and send it to you.
Yeah,
This
look it up.
guy's-
I'll put it in the show notes. That's bonkers. So you played with this guy?
Yeah, because he kept on killing us. And he remembered the name, and I was like, yeah, I kind of remember that name. Like,
Yeah.
it was something feet TTV.
Okay.
And he looked it up, and he's like, yeah, this guy just played the game yesterday. And I'm like, what? So I looked it up, and he has a cam on his feet playing the game. And it's insane because he's doing really, really good.
On the keyboard.
No, it's a controller.
Oh my God.
It's a controller. Yeah.
And he literally kicked your ass.
And he kicked. I wasn't the only one, all right? There was multiple people. I think he got first out of like 100 people.
Is insane.
Because yeah, it was pretty cool. I thought it's Gotfeet, and he's actually live right now with 2 viewers, but he's playing with his toes right now. If you want to see.
You want to?
Yeah, so let's go into that. Malcolm, can you give us video here?
Yep, right there. He's live.
It's a little bit cut off, the video that we're seeing right now. You can just barely see. He is absolutely trouncing these guys playing with his feet. This is amazing. For those of you that are viewing this, listening on audio, he's at Gotfeet, twitch.tv/GOTFEET is his name on Twitch. This is awesome. Looks like he's trying to upgrade his stream right now. He's at $55 out of 3,000. I implore any of the listeners, go give this guy some money. This is amazing. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Just like,
And we'll put a link in the.
Yeah, I'll put a link in the show notes for sure.
Yep.
Really cool.
he's so much better than I am than playing with my hands. Like, it's insane. Like, how, man, my feet would get cramped up.
Dude, for sure.
Dude, I wouldn't be able to do it. My hands get cramped up now, man.
Yeah.
Arthritis and stuff like that, man. But like, he's on a whole nother level.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Does he like crack his
His toes? Oh, you like turn them
together
sideways?
like that
feet
before he begins
knuckles?
the match?
Oh,
Maybe.
I don't like that. Ugh. I couldn't imagine my toes doing that. Ouch.
Right?
But yeah, he's I played against him, and my buddies did, and he is very, very good. Even though some people are really good at this game, like, you still can't take on like 7 or 8 people.
Okay.
It's almost impossible because there is no dodge ability in this game.
Oh, really?
The only person that has a dodge is the mage, and it's like a flash. They just teleport.
Okay.
But everybody else is either you just either take it like a man and block it with your shield, or use one of your abilities to like jump out of the way or do something.
Okay.
So I mean, it's almost impossible to really be like a god at this game.
Sure.
Even though, which he actually, I think he has one of the cataclysms.
So yeah, what is he about to do right now, Austyn?
So he's got a meteor storm. So he is literally going to run to the enemy's castle. And so 20 versus 20 right now. So he's heading to looks like red team's castle, and he's going to release this meteor storm on their castle.
So he has 3 minutes to unleash this, basically.
Yes. If he doesn't, then it disappears.
Okay. Okay, let's watch until...
Ooh, no, he ain't going to make it. He's not going to make it.
No! You can do it!
Oh, he knocked him off the ledge! Holy!
Let's go!
What?
Let's go!
Oh no, here's another one now. Oh,
Looks
man.
like he did a little dodge there.
Nope. See, he lost
son
it,
of a
and then
bitch.
now the enemy team has it, and they're gonna be running to his castle now, which it looks like his team is actually losing
Oh no!
because their core got hit more than the other teams. So yeah, they might end up losing this, even though he gets like first place basically.
Right.
He still might end up losing this.
Man, yeah, really cool. Gotfeet on Twitch. Like I said earlier, we'll put the link in the show notes. This is awesome. Go donate some money for this guy's stream. Super cool.
Even if it's a couple dollars, yeah.
Yeah, whatever you feel like you're able to do. This is really cool.
Jeez. Yeah, he went behind that person, smacked him in the back, and then they went flying off the edge. I can't even do that. It's but yeah, overall this game's it's for being free, I think it's pretty fun, and it gives me Happy War, old school game Happy Wars vibes, especially from it.
That's super cool. Yeah, I want to try Warlander. Obviously, like Austyn said, free to play on Steam. You can go check it out right now. Made by Toy Logic. I'm not familiar with their work. I wonder if they've made anything else. Looks really cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what they bring to it in the future. You know, different maps, and it looks like they don't really have a whole lot holding themselves to their own fiction. You know, they got fucking robots and magic and whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
Sounds good. Put it in there. What do you think the first crossover will be?
Oh, like kind of like Fortnite does?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe like Game of Thrones or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
Get the HBO license in there.
Oh, that'd be expensive.
Arya Stark. Not anymore. It used to be
It used to
expensive.
be.
I'm sure it's not anymore.
Get Arya Stark. That'd be actually because the graphics would be able to do something like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something medieval, I guess. I don't think I don't know about lightsabers being in this and using the Force. Maybe.
You can get post Red Wedding Rob Stark,
Oh god.
and he's just headless.
He's just headless. that could be a thing. That could actually be a thing. A cosmetic that you pay $40 for. I mean, I have yet to buy the Battle Pass.
Okay.
Just because it's a new game. It could
How much
flop.
is the Battle Pass?
It was, I don't know, the convert
Oh, it was like some, coin.
900 golden doubloons.
Okay, sure.
Something like that. And then that's for the regular Battle Pass. And then they got the premium Battle Pass, which is double
Jesus.
that. So
Okay.
I think it was like $20 or something like
Yeah.
that. I think it was.
That's pretty reasonable for a Battle Pass for sure. Yeah. All right, let's move on from that. Let's talk about the FTC Microsoft court case. Both of you were looking up some information about it. We've got a Yahoo News article pulled up here. So I'm sure anybody listening to this podcast is familiar with the Xbox is trying to buy Activision Blizzard. I actually don't think it's something that we talked about because we've been off air since that news came out. Being Xbox fans for the most part, I was pretty excited about this. Call of Duty coming to the Xbox stable is cool. A lot of the Activision properties, fucking Guitar Hero, Spyro the Dragon, Crash Bandicoot are some of the more recent re-releases that Activision has done that would be coming under the Microsoft umbrella should this deal go through. But the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, decided that it was not a good idea if Microsoft purchased Activision. Most other countries approved it without restriction, including China, Brazil, the European Union. 2 countries so far had an issue with it. It was the UK, which is no longer a part of the European Union. The UK and the US are the 2 largest roadblocks right now for Microsoft's bid to buy Activision. I think they were going to pay $69 billion.
Oh my God.
Was that?
No,
that the-
6.9.
No. That's not right.
Okay.
It is in the mega billions. This Yahoo News article is not correct. 6.9 billion is not the
Lame.
number. It's 69 billion.
Dang, for a video game.
Yeah, I'm going to look that up real quick if you want to chat.
That's insane.
Okay.
I can't even imagine that much money. How, like, visually seeing, like, how much money would that, like, how much space would that take up? You think?
Quite a bit.
like 20 Trump Towers?
Okay, yeah, it was
Frito-Lays could you buy?
$68.7 billion is what it was.
Slightly off Yahoo.
Yeah, 6.9 billion. No, incorrect.
Okay.
But because of this court case that is still ongoing, I think we don't have a resolution yet.
Nope.
So a lot of things came out in terms of like maybe emails you wouldn't really want people to see. And there were quotes from Jim Ryan, and I think some of my favorite stuff from this trial has been Jim Ryan, who is the head of PlayStation, Sony Entertainment Interactive. Sony Interactive Entertainment head Jim Ryan, who's that's what he does for them. He's a fucking dick. And just some of the stuff he's been saying about like, oh well, if he was testifying in court saying that if Microsoft got Activision, that they would release a worse version of Call of Duty on PlayStation. Like, why would they do that?
Well, didn't I don't know if it was Jim or Sony, but they said that they wouldn't give like any of that like for them to make it on PlayStation. Like they wouldn't give them any information to help them.
Yeah, so
get the game on there.
That was one thing Jim Ryan said too, is like, okay, for the next, like they wouldn't reveal things about the next PlayStation, the PlayStation 6 or whatever it's called.
Yes.
They would not reveal details about the PlayStation 6 for Microsoft's studios, should they buy Activision Studios, to make these games.
Yep.
And Windows Central put out an article that was like, why would he even say that? Like, these companies exist now with compartmentalization. Like Sony Interactive's team that makes the show puts it on Xbox. Like they already make Microsoft games. Microsoft already publishes games on the PlayStation Store with Minecraft. There are I think Elder Scrolls Online is still on there. You know, all the ones that were on there have continued to be on there.
Yes, they've never taken anything off. It's just these new games that are coming out will not be on there.
And that was one of the larger things. One of the FTC's larger arguing points was, if you follow Bethesda's trajectory, which was, okay, Bethesda always made multi-platform games. Bethesda gets purchased by Microsoft. Bethesda no longer makes multi-platform games. Like, okay, sure, yes. But could we maybe take a step back from that and look at like how many games Sony publishes that are exclusive to its own platform?
Exactly.
How many timed exclusives they pay other publishers, other developers for that have to wait a year, 6 months, whatever, to make it onto Xbox's platform? Or how about fucking Final Fantasy 16 being exclusive right now? Like they literally have exclusivity deals for Sony's platform going right fucking now. It doesn't make any sense to criticize Microsoft, even if they did that. You know, have that be the reason they can't buy Activision. It doesn't make any sense.
I think all those exclusives that PlayStation does have doesn't probably compare to Activision.
So that's what that was Sony's biggest argument. It was like, you guys don't understand how fucking big Call of Duty is. And like, sure. Call of Duty is a very big, a very important game, yearly release, like millions of people buy this, millions of people play this game every year. I think as part of the documents that we were talking about earlier that came out in court, Sony was saying that, or Sony's documentation showed that Sony made $800 million in the first year of the Cold War launch. So Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
Yep.
I think that's the one that like the dollar figure came out. 800 million from one single game on one single platform over the course of a year. So that would be obviously people buying the game, people buying skins, and I guess that would be it. That's their two revenue streams.
Would that be including like bundles and stuff like that? Like,
in what way?
Like buying a PlayStation 5 with Call of Duty. Like,
so I don't know that there's ever been a package with the game, with a Call of Duty game, like bundled with it.
Oh, it's mostly been exclusives then, right? Like God of War or Last of Us.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure what the question is.
Well, I mean, like, well, you're saying, oh yeah, since they have not done that with Call of Duty, then that revenue would not be there with that.
So Sony would not make that. That's one of their arguments. Is like, we will miss out on potentially over or at $800 million a year should Microsoft pull Call of Duty from the Sony platform.
Yeah.
So you can understand why Jim Ryan's being a dick. And I understand it. He's got a job to do. He's going to just do or say whatever it takes to keep Microsoft from buying Activision. At one point this was a while ago, but they were talking about like, okay, what if you buy Activision, but you don't buy Call of Duty? Like, okay, what? Call of Duty exists separately somehow from Activision. That doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
You buy Activision and all its properties except for Call of Duty. Do you also not buy the studios then? And like Call of Duty just becomes this like weird self-published, self-developed game? Like, no, that doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
So I get why Sony people at, the runners, Jim Ryan and people that work at Sony do not want Call of Duty to go away, because that is an insane amount of money. That's almost $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Sony could have bought them too.
Sony does not have the cash flow to buy.
Not like Microsoft.
No.
Oh, sorry, your balls are a little small over there, Sony. But
So I appreciate you bringing that up, Malcolm, because that was another thing that came up in the emails of the FTC trials was, I think Matt Booty said...
Booty?
Yeah, that's his last name. So he said in an email in 2019, prior to whatever time frame the email was, it was prior to them buying Bethesda. And he said in an email to other like Microsoft people like Phil Spencer and Satya Nadella, who's the CEO of Microsoft.
Yeah.
He said Microsoft could spend Sony out of business if they were to acquire content for their Xbox Game Pass service. And this is actually quoted in the Yahoo News article as well here. So they also call out Microsoft General Manager of Public Affairs David Cuddy told The Verge that the email was outdated and referred to industry trends we never pursued and is unrelated to the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. So that email was from 2019. So that's pretty recent that he would say something like that. But also, like, they're the market leader, and I think, at least if I was in Matt Booty's shoes, I was trying to pitch my boss being Phil Spencer and Satya Nadella. They're the ones that make the calls of like, how do we combat Sony? Like, how do we, as Microsoft, how do we get, other than making better games with our current studios, which we don't really seem to be able to do, how do we get better content on our platform? And one of those ways is to spend a fuckload of money. Yep. So if you are Matt Booty and you are typing this email and you're trying to get your bosses on board with this type of, acquisition, you would want to put wording in your email to convince them that would say like, hey, this is possible. And it would be strongly worded if you, like Matt Booty, had a lot of passion for what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And I think this was just bravado on his part, basically. I don't think Microsoft and Matt Booty never had any intention of spending Sony out of business.
Yeah.
Like, they're the market leader. I don't think that's even an option.
I mean, I think, because one thing that they were also talking about was like the console war going on, and how Phil Spencer even said it himself, where that Xbox has lost pretty much the console war against PlayStation.
Yeah.
Like, and that's one aspect that they aren't leading the charge in, but they can buy these studios to help get better games and just throw money at it.
Of the 4 generations that Microsoft has made consoles, so original Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series, they only won one of those generations. They were able to pretty much outsell the PS3 during the Xbox 360 generation. And I think eventually the PS3 caught up, but the Xbox had a huge lead because it was way less cost in terms of price, and it was not as powerful as the PS3, so they could get away with that kind of thing. But since then, Microsoft has definitely taken it on the chin for the last decade.
Yeah.
Since 2013 when the Xbox One launched.
Yep.
And it's a thing that they've been trying to correct since then.
Yeah.
So this isn't correct on the thing where it's saying for the past 2 decades? Or it beat PlayStation, but Nintendo was ahead of them?
Yeah, Nintendo has been the lead, like, overall.
I think that's probably true, except they
Okay.
did fumble the fuck out of the Wii U.
Well, yeah.
So the Wii sold 128 million units or some bonkers thing like that.
Yeah.
And then, if you look at the Switch, I think outsells both of them
Yeah.
regularly. It may not be every single month, but
It's the leading. It's Nintendo, then PlayStation, then Xbox.
Nintendo moves a fuckload of units.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But
Here we go.
here we go. But I'm kind of confused because the FTC is based in the U.S., correct?
Yes.
And Microsoft is also based in the U.S. But Sony is based in technically Japan, right? That's where they're.
I don't know where like Sony Interactive Entertainment's headquarters is. So
But that's where they came from. Was Japan.
sure, yes. Sony is absolutely a Japanese company.
Yes, and then Nintendo is also a Japanese company too.
Yes.
So then why is the FTC coming after its own US owned company?
That's a good question.
Maybe the agreement from World War II where we have to protect Japan in case of an attack. This is a clear attack.
This is a clear attack.
Do you know what this would do to Japan's? What is their currency
Clear attack.
actually?
The yen, right?
And yeah.
Is it the yen? I thought that was Chinese.
It might be.
I don't think that is.
But I think
I thought no, China's Mao Zedong's.
what? What did you just say? I don't think that's correct.
No, it's not correct. Just a joke. Japanese yen.
All right, you were
It was
right.
yen. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
But I feel like it's weird. But I've heard that I read a couple things that said that, and it's all kind of weird because the judge that's in charge of this, her son works for Microsoft.
Really?
Yeah, if you look that up, it's a thing.
Wow. I did not know that.
And also, there is a Sony ex-executive. I forget what position he had, but he is actually he's on the same team as the FTC.
Yes. Yeah. Whatever. I don't know. Whoever the FTC brought in to do the investigating.
Yes.
There is a Sony person on that team.
Exactly.
And I thought that was a little dirty.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
Like,
Scandalous. I love it.
Yeah, all this is just kind of weird to me, to be honest with you. It's just a bunch of, half these people don't even know what they're talking about.
No.
They're talking about video games, And even the judge has even said, like, these questions, like, and it's the same thing as the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial. The judge is, like, talking to the Amber Heard's lawyers, like, what do these questions have to do with anything that's going on with the case right now? And then it just doesn't make any sense. It's just,
Right.
It's just weird. It's the same thing with TikTok. The trial with that, they're asking questions that have nothing to do. And the guy in charge of TikTok's like, okay. I mean, yes, that's a thing, but
Right.
it has nothing to do with what we're talking about here.
they're like, can TikTok read my email?
Right.
No.
That's
Yes.
not really what it's for. No, the Chinese government can read your emails
Yes.
because TikTok is installed.
Yes.
TikTok itself does not read your emails.
They don't do it.
Right.
They get your
Yeah,
bank
they don't
information,
care.
everything, but they don't use it. Somebody else
for
does.
sure. You were getting more spam for a totally different reason. It wasn't TikTok related.
So these are people that don't know much about games that are in the court cases talking, and like I'm just picturing like some really old people going like, so you mean to say that they're streaming from the cloud? Like how does this affect the cloud?
Yes, dude, the cloud business is the thing they're fighting
Yes,
about.
it's exactly what they're fighting about.
So it's not really that, like, sure, Microsoft can buy Activision, they'll own all the studios and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the focus of the FTC was how this would affect the cloud market, because Microsoft is a leader in the cloud with their Azure service.
Checkalook.
Hey, a little bit of an editor's note here. Austyn and I are wrong in this particular section of the pod, and I figured if we do a news segment, we might as well get things as accurate as possible. So what we meant to say was that the UK watchdog CMA, they're the ones that had an issue with Microsoft's cloud stuff in terms of the Activision Blizzard merger, and the FTC, who was trying to stop the Microsoft deal in the US, they kind of had an issue with the overall purchase of all of the studios. So when we're talking about cloud stuff at this particular section, pretend that we are talking about the UK watchdog, the CMA. So, yeah, back to the show.
Checkalook.
And so the FTC was arguing that the Microsoft would corner the cloud market by owning these video game studios.
And the
so
judge is like, how do you own a cloud? How can you physically own a cloud?
You can't even get up there.
I drove through it in a plane. You cannot touch it.
Case dismissed.
Right.
We're done
It's like
here.
that. It's like that liar. Your Honor, I object. To yourself? Yes.
Yes.
Overruled.
Good call.
But the cloud gaming, that like even that isn't really a big thing.
So when they had Phil Spencer up there, that was one thing that they asked him.
Yeah.
And he tried to explain to them when he was on the stand under fucking oath. It was like, no, like we have this cloud service for gaming, but it's such a niche thing right now. Like that's not where we're getting most of our money from.
Yep.
And like right now, it's kind of a money hole for them because they've got to keep those servers on. They've got to keep these games running kind of in the background for you to access it whenever you want to. And I don't know, from the games that I've played on the cloud, it kind of sucks.
I don't think I've ever touched the cloud once.
I mean, I've played it like, okay, sure, it's cool that you can play it on your phone and I can, you know, be sitting if Rachel's watching a show, I can play a game on my phone or whatever, but like, I'll never fucking do that.
No.
Because if we're watching a show, I'm spending time with my wife. I'm not fucking ignoring her playing on my phone. I don't know, like... Even if, and I may be in the minority here, but like I have an Xbox in my bedroom and I have one in my living room, the two places where I would need it. So I think like the people who would maybe take advantage of the cloud the most would be the hardcorest of gamers.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and those people, depending on their monetary situation, probably just own multiple Xboxes.
Yes. Yep.
And until we get some sort of like generational hard cut, like my Series X will play Xbox One games. So what the fuck do I need the cloud for? And one thing that I was talking to, I think maybe, I don't remember who I was talking to about it, but they talked about the cloud being a way for Xbox One owners to access titles that do not come to last gen. So for instance, Starfield, they didn't specifically call out Starfield, but this could be an example of that, where they allow Xbox One users via Game Pass to play Starfield and stream it rather than play it natively on their hardware, which their hardware cannot handle it.
Yeah.
So that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, there was also one thing they called out Xbox on was like investing on like only profitable studios.
Okay.
Like say, or not even studios, but companies like Google or Amazon. But you know, Google had Google Stadia.
Right. Fucking flop.
Yeah. And that's something that Phil Spencer even said. He's like, you know, Google Stadia, we invested in Google, but yet that didn't do good. You know? And I mean, the only probably good one that they have is Amazon. That's like a big, huge contender. But
you mean as far as the cloud stuff goes?
Yeah,
like the cloud competitors?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So I mean, that was one thing they tried calling him out on, and nothing that didn't come from anything, just because they're not investing only in good companies. I mean, they are trying to invest in companies, but
right.
Sometimes it doesn't work out. But
yeah. So some quotes here from the trial. So Spencer said Xbox needed to do a lot of work with a lot of partners given the competitive situation we had against the market leader. He's referring to Sony in this quote. And one of the things that came out was that Starfield might not have come to Xbox had they not purchased Bethesda. That was one of the things he said.
yes, okay.
Because Sony was pitching them pretty hard for exclusives, and that's what the Ghostwire Tokyo, that's what Deathloop, both of those exclusives came before Bethesda was purchased by Microsoft. So I guess Phil Spencer evidently had heard about those through the grapevine, talking with Bethesda, and obviously he knows a lot of behind the scenes stuff that general public can't know. So he would have known probably that those games were in development and that they were only coming to Sony's platform. So he was worried that Sony would lock up exclusivity for Starfield before it even ever came to Xbox. And so one of the solutions to that problem would either be to buy exclusivity for Xbox and go the other direction with it, or say, fuck you, and buy Bethesda proper. You buy the whole goddamn thing, and then you don't have to worry about it. There was also some interesting information from Bobby Kotick, who is the CEO, or I think he is still the CEO of Activision. He said that they tried to, or actually did, increase the amount of revenue share that Activision was given from Microsoft in sales of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So it's typically a 70-30 split.
Yep.
So 70 would go to Activision, 30 would go to Xbox, and that's over all the sales. That's how it is on Sony's platform as well. So that's how they were able to make $800 million. $800 million that Sony made, going back to what we said earlier, is 30% of what Activision made in that year.
It's a lot of games sold.
So take 800 million and add 70% times 70%. Not a math podcast. However you do that math, it's a fuckload of money
Yes.
that Activision made off Call of Duty in that year.
Yes.
But Activision said to Microsoft, you take a 20-80 split, Activision 80, Microsoft 20, and we'll keep putting the game on your platform. But if you don't do that, we're going to pull Call of Duty from Microsoft's platform.
Damn.
Like, that's a big dick swing right there.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
holy cow.
so Activision had a different split than any other publisher on Microsoft's platform because of that. That's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
There's so much money flowing through here. Just give us a little bit of it. Just get a little bit. Just a little bit. You won't even notice it's gone.
A couple of quick hitters here. Bethesda also, that came out through this whole thing, they did a trailer. I think this might have been at E3 last year or whatever, Summer of Games, the Frito-Lay Presents Flamin' Hot Summer of Games 2022, which we did not get to cover on the show as we were on hiatus. Bethesda is making an Indiana Jones game.
Yes.
Machine Games, the guys that did Wolfenstein, are making it. And that is going to be exclusive.
Yep.
It was originally intended to not be exclusive, but when Bethesda was purchased by Microsoft, the deal was amended with Disney, and now the Indiana Jones game will come exclusively to Xbox, which I don't know if that was one of the things they brought up in the trial. I think it was. But it doesn't make sense. Like, fucking Sony has Spider-Man. I realize, yes, they kind of co-own Spider-Man, and Disney owns part of it too, and that's why it'll never come to Xbox. But, like, these fucking deals exist on the other platform. Why are you poking Microsoft for these things that already happen on Sony's platforms? I can't separate myself from it. I can't decide if I'm just being a fanboy. I don't want to just be a fanboy. Like, I want to be objective about it, but I think I'm kind of trying to be objective. I don't know. Just seems like they're getting the short end of the stick here.
I mean, I have both systems, and
right. I also have both systems.
and we both play both sides of the game.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've always had Xbox, and I've always had PlayStation, but a lot of these like exclusives for PlayStation are just like daddy simulators.
am not sure.
So, okay.
When you said daddy simulator, I got like these, there's like a category of Steam game that I'm thinking of.
What are you looking up, Ryan? What is he looking up? No. So you got.
Do not look that up.
Don't look it up. Don't look it up.
No. We don't want that on the show.
So basically, you have Last of Us. You have the father figure
okay, sure.
and the daughter. You have God of War, father figure. And then now you have Spider-Man, which you have the father figure Spider-Man with Miles Morales.
Okay, sure.
I mean, you have all these multiple games. And
that is a theme.
It is
for
a
sure.
very big theme with Sony, and kind of also walking simulators too. Because they have UPS package simulator.
Death Stranding,
yep. Which I tried playing, and oh man. But anyways, it just seems like they're just beating a dead horse, and they're like, we don't know what to do. We can't create up our own ideas. We have to take something from Microsoft to help keep us going. Because there's a lot of their games are very similar. Obviously,
I would agree with that. They definitely have an audience they are shooting for with the type of games they make. And that was, I actually don't think we brought it up last week. That was one thing that I was most impressed with at the Xbox showcase, was the variety of art styles and game types that Microsoft brought to the table. Like Fable looked completely different from what Compulsion Games is making. Both of those look completely different from Starfield. Like, some really cool stuff. Avowed, we didn't even touch on last week. That looks different from Skyrim, but also kind of in that same mold, like different enough to be its own thing.
Yeah.
And I thought that the variety was way more impressive than the stuff that Sony has been showing for the last 5 years, for sure.
Exactly. I mean, I love all those games that I just said. God of War.
Yeah, like visually, I think Spider-Man looks beautiful. Horizon looks beautiful. But they also like, I don't know, don't they kind of look the same?
Yeah.
Like if you were to take Aloy out of, and dump Miles Morales in, you might think like, yeah, this could be an area of the, like a destroyed dystopian Spider-Man, but it would fit.
Yeah.
And, just like realistic looking characters and like, goddamn, it looks fucking good. There's not a lot of variety there.
And I mean, there's one game, Ghost of Tsushima. That's probably one of the really good ones that they went out of their way, and it's kind of different.
Yeah.
But still, it's more daddy simulators, walking simulators, and all that stuff compared to Xboxes, which they're buying all these studios that have, like you said, varieties.
I think so. I think there was a much larger variety of art styles and gameplay.
Which I agree, and I don't like picking sides, even when it comes to like presidential. Like I don't
even vote.
Like Republican, Democrat. I don't care about any of that. I don't care. Xbox, PlayStation. I don't care any about that. I care about the games that come out and the stuff that they bring out.
Yeah.
Whatever's good, I'm going to like, you know.
So, okay, let's touch on that. And this can be the last point that we touch on because I think Malcolm's got to get going.
Okay.
But how do you think this will affect, let's say Microsoft does buy Activision.
Yes.
Do we get more games from Activision, or does Activision continue to be the Call of Duty factory? And we should note that Microsoft would also be buying Blizzard. So they would own World of Warcraft, among other things, and King Games, which is a bunch of mobile games. I don't know or care about any King Games. But.
That's kind of hard to say. I mean, I feel like Call of Duty is just a cash grab now. They just get your money every year and then make Warzone now or whatever. But I mean, if Microsoft is giving them money to make these games better, and instead of releasing something that is like the same thing as last year, I think they would be actually taking their time with these games and actually doing a better job, just like with Starfield. You know?
Yeah, we touched on that last week. Which it was gonna release in November of 2022.
Yep.
And because of Microsoft's basically cash infusion, Bethesda decided that they could spend the time to make the game as good as it could be.
Exactly.
So that is also the thing that, like, Bethesda's also branching out in the types of games they make, and not just Bethesda. Like Machine Games is doing the Indiana Jones thing.
Yep.
And they did the Hi-Fi Rush. That's a Bethesda studio that made that. The same guys that did Ghostwire Tokyo. I don't remember the name of that studio. But I think that we could potentially see like an actual commitment to Crash Bandicoot coming back, or Spyro the Dragon, or I don't know, the 72 different IP that Activision owns. Do you remember in like 2010, Raven Software made a game called Singularity?
That sounds familiar.
Super cool game. Really neat time mechanic in that game where you could, like, if an enemy was on a bridge, you could like crumble the bridge to dust, or you could hit them with the time mechanic and crumble them to dust, or reverse them, and so they would pop out of existence because you would reverse time and they never existed. I'm not sure if I have those details right, but very cool game. Like Singularity was a cool game. First-person shooter style, like I would say kind of like a Wolfenstein style game where it's a storytelling, not really a multiplayer component. You could put it also in the same vein as like Half-Life.
Okay.
Not really physics based, but like here's a shooter that you're playing the story of.
Okay.
Rather than, Call of Duty's tripe they put out every year that's the same kind of stuff. And I would want to see some of those things brought back. Mm-hmm. Like Singularity was cool when they tried games like that. Tony Hawk is another one that got the re-release. Like, okay, we got 1 and 2 remastered. There's not a new Tony Hawk game, at least that we know of, in development right now. Like, I don't need Activision to pump out. Like, I don't want Tony Hawk to be re-released. Let's say, okay, in 2024, I don't want Tony Hawk to come out and then have a new Tony Hawk game every year for the next 6 years, and then it goes on hiatus for 20 years. Like, I absolutely don't want that to fucking happen. Same thing with Guitar Hero. If Microsoft buys Activision, I don't want to have them put out a new Guitar Hero and then fucking slam the market by releasing 4 games in the same fucking year.
Yeah.
And then nobody buys those games because all they actually wanted was the songs. Like, they don't need to be different games. That was stupid. You flooded the market and now it's dead. Thank you. And I think Microsoft has learned from those things. How long did it take them to make Halo 4 and 5 and 6? Since they had 343 take over, Gears is another example. Since they bought Gears of War, we've gotten 2 Gears of War since they bought them from Epic. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like Microsoft floods the market with these games when they buy them. They have shown a willingness to let these developers fucking develop games. And even more so now than I think when they were first getting into buying Gears of War and they haven't owned Bethesda that long, but it's not like they forced Bethesda to put Starfield out before it was ready.
No, yeah. No, that's how other companies do it though.
Yeah.
And I would be okay with Microsoft having a monopoly, to be honest with you, over everything.
Fair.
If they're gonna do that, then by means take the reins, buddy.
Buy EA.
Buy
Square.
Buy Sony. Go wild, man. Go crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Buy Frito-Lay.
Oh, that's a big company, man.
Microsoft owns Taco Bell now.
Oh snap! You get
Free Xbox controller with purchase of your box.
hell yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like if Microsoft does go through with this, then potentially that Activision will be able to release some actual creativity
Yeah.
and do some
And not just be the
different.
Call of Duty studio.
Exactly, because that's what's making money for them. So that's what they're going to keep on doing.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before on the show. How many, like 11? Are there fucking 11 studios that work on Call of Duty?
There's like
They're
one for every other year.
All over.
Every year there's a different one that starts it.
That's
Release
the
their
main
game.
one for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Are you going to buy Call of Duty this year?
No.
No. I don't think I will either. Modern Warfare 2, I don't love. We want to have Colin on to talk about it, but I don't really care for it.
No, I think I've only really played the campaigns, but even that is not that great anymore.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I started the campaign in Vanguard like 3 times and
yeah, no. Vanguard is not that great.
all right, we're going to get out of here and we're going to ride out to some new music this week. We signed a deal with Fixed Neon, the music publisher, to license their catalog. So we are again going to feature music to ride out to at the end of our episodes. It was something that we tried to do when we first started doing like video, audio, maybe episode 100 somewhere. I don't know, we maybe did 20 episodes that way. And we were getting copy struck on YouTube because even though we had permission from the artists to use their songs, we did not necessarily have permission from the publishers, which is important, I guess. So today we're going to ride out to Summer by Ace Marino. Thank you so much for Fixed for letting us use this music. I love this song. It's fantastic. Gives me some really good nostalgia, kind of 80s synthwave summer vibes. And we hope you guys like it too. We're going to let those tunes wallow in your ear canals and we are going to get out of here. So good night, everyone.
Austyn Torres, peace out.
Thank you. Malcolm.
Black 'em.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm okay. I know you will be soon. Oh, summer, you were my comfort. But heaven wasn't what we thought it'd be. I was your shelter. You brought the thunder. Your heart will always have a place in me. The sunlight starts to fade. Another warm September day. The seasons change. wasn't what we thought it'd be. I was your shelter. You brought the thunder. Your heart will always have a place in me. Your heart will always have a place in me.
You didn't have to, I guess, if it was really that big of a deal.
No, you're fine. There was just fucking. Okay.
I think we should name where all the maps are too, because there's Bel Air.
Now, which screen is up right now? 2 or 3?
I have show notes.
Okay.
And internet.
Okay. Now internet. Okay, so if I occasionally look over at you because I forget which screen this is on, and I go like this, just.
Can you see my hand over here? Because I think this is off screen.
Okay, then yeah, I'll.
Or over here. You want it over here instead?
That's fine.
Is this off screen?
I mean, in this one it is. I mean,
pitcher and catcher over here.
I don't really care. Like, I just, I was trying to think of a way.
So do you want me to tell you what's up there or tell you what I want? Or maybe I'll just do like cycle it.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Because
What the heck is that? Oh my god.
What is his ad?
dude, I don't know.
What the fuck is going on?